Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about epic card game Duels, and this is published by White Wizard Games.
You guys, have you ever wanted to play Magic the Gathering, but thought, oh, there's just so many cards, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to play, I don't have anybody to teach me, it's so intimidating. Going to the game store, there's a bunch of people there that already know how to play, they're all so good. Where do I start? I'll tell you what.
That's never happened to me.
But if it has, or you've just been interested in playing a card game like that without all the intimidation and weird stuff, I've got a game for you. Epic is a two-player or multiplayer dueling game where you are basically combining cards, you are battling it out, trying to bring other people's health down to zero. Let me give you a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Epic. This is basically a dueling card game, so you have two decks battling off against each other. Now, there are four factions. Basically, we have the Wild, we have Evil, we have Good, and we also have Sage. So those are kind of four different factions represented by four different colors. Each player is going to pick out two of those factions and shuffle them together, and that's going to create their deck. You're going to start by drawing 5 cards off the top of your deck, and that's going to be your starting hand. Basically, at the beginning of your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to draw an additional card, and that's going to be how your turn starts. On the very first turn of the game, though, you do not draw an additional card. All right, on the top left of the cards, you're going to be able to see what faction these belong to. So this is the Wild, this is the Evil. And also, we've got some kind of text over here, some things that are going to happen when you play the cards. This is whether the card costs you an action or not. Basically, you have 1 gold coin over here, and you are going to flip it when you want to use it. Now, all these things that cost gold coin, you can only do one of them per turn. However, you also have cards that are free that have a 0 up there, and those you're able to play whether or not you've spent your gold coin. But the bigger actions, the stronger ones, those cost you an action, and you only have one of those that you're able to do each turn. There are 2 major kinds of cards in this game. There are the champions. Now, champions are going to have an attack strength as well as a defensive value over here, as well as possibly some effects that might happen when they're played. So those are going to be the champions. Then we also have events. Events do not have any of those health things. Basically, there's things that are going to say you can either draw cards, maybe do some damage, those kinds of things. So basically, you have champions and you have events. Each player also has some hit points. Basically, the goal is to get the other player's hit points down to 0. You start with 30. Now, basically, the way the champions are going to work, they basically block damage that would otherwise have gone to you. So if someone's doing some attacks, you can choose to spend your champions that you have that are active out there and try to block the damage before it comes to you, to try to save your own health. But then your champions themselves might die, and then the next turn, you won't be able to attack. This game is very similar to a game like Magic the Gathering. There's all different effects and kind of keywords. Like, for instance, this one says airborne. This is an airborne, it's a kind of a flying creature, which means you can only be blocked by other creatures or other champions who are also airborne. This also has an ambush attack, which means you can be able to play it on your opponent's turns. Then there's also things like tribute. Tribute happens when you play a card. As soon as you play it, whatever the tribute effect is, that triggers immediately. There's a lot of those different little terms in the game, and so you're going to get a little kind of a helper card. It's going to be able to kind of tell you all the different terminology you might come across in this game. So we talked about airborne and ambush. There's also banish, blitz, break, expend, flip, prepare, tribute, all kinds of stuff. On the other side, there's also kind of a turn order, as well as kind of stepping through all the different attacks, all the different things that are going to happen when you guys attack each other, as well as the end of turn. So those are different things you can do. That's going to be your player aid throughout the game to kind of help you along. That's really all there is to the game. Basically, on your turn, you're going to be drawing a card. You're going to be playing some cards out there. The more powerful ones are going to cost you your 1 big coin action, and then the free ones, you can do those as well if you'd like to. Then your opponents are also going to get a chance to retaliate, play some cards as well on your own turn. And then at the end of the turn, both of you are going to flip your coins back over. So you're going to have a refreshed coin that you can be able to use on their turn as well. Things are going to go back and forth until eventually one player has their health go down to 0. They are out of the game. The last person standing is declared the winner.
I really liked the artwork on all of these cards. I thought it was really, really well developed, and I liked, I don't know, it's like this world that's created, right? And you're just really interested in it. Even the scorecard. I remember, like, I really wanted to be at 9 health because I really liked the artwork of my scorecard. But I just like it. I mean, if it's a game where it's just the cards, right? You either have to do nothing with the cards or you have to make them really nice. And they made the card art really nice in this game.
I gotta say, the way they had the tutorial in this game, it was a fantastic teaching and learning of a game. Yeah. It maybe was one of the best tutorials that I've ever gone through. So basically, the cards were already wrapped up in a way that all the cards were stacked in the way they wanted them. Yeah. And then they had a whole separate rule book that was just teaching you how to play. And it said, now the second player is going to draw a card. The card you just drew is blah, blah, blah. And you can do it to do this action.
Yeah.
And then other day would say what to do on the opposite player's turn. Oh, they just drew a really powerful card. Maybe you want to hang on to your cards as a kind of a defense later, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it kind of talked you through and walked you through.
At one point, it said, like, you're feeling pretty good about your hand, aren't you? And Ryan's like, I was.
Yeah, his little jokes like, oh, wow, that's a powerful card.
Yeah.
They know because were the ones who orchestrated it being in your hand. But the point was, it's an extremely great way of teaching the game. And there is a way to set it up again afterwards. That way you're not just playing it the one time and then shuffling the cards up and then you've lost that tutorial forever. No, it teaches you how to set it up again as well. So that way if you wanted to give it to someone else to play or you wanted to teach someone else the same way that you taught, the way we went through it, you have the opportunity to do so. Fantastic tutorial.
And it is really helpful because there's a lot of concepts that they're new concepts. I mean, Ryan was able to figure them out pretty easy, but I haven't played a game like this, so they're brand new concepts to me. And being able to go through that, we are able to immediately play the game again. And I didn't have to be taught because the game did that. So we are able to play again, just read the text, the main things of how to play the games. And it was just easy to get going. Like, you could easily, doing that tutorial, like Ryan said, you can just get in it afterwards. You don't have to look things up. You have that reference guide, but you don't have to keep on referring to it because you know the game.
So there's 4 factions in the game, and basically you kind of just grab 2 of them and you shuffle them up and go. So it doesn't matter which 2 you use, they're all customizable and compatible with each other, so that way every time you play you get a different experience. And also this is just the base game, right? This is just the Duel's 2-player starter deck.
Yeah.
There's all different ways you can customize and kind of grow as well, but it doesn't have that collectible rarity feeling that like Magic the Gathering or other kind of collectible card games have. You get the cards, you just get them. You purchase the pack, and now you have all the cards that go along with it. You don't have to kind of sift through, open a whole bunch of packs, hoping to get the one that you really, really wanted for your deck idea or whatever it was. You just get the cards, and then you can kind of make your deck with your strategies and your experiences the way you want them, which I thought was great.
Also, like a really tiny note on, I really like when there's double usage in cards, and especially for a game like this where it just doesn't take up a lot of space. And I think one of the reasons why it did that is because they had these dual use cards where it was like a soldier or a demon.
Oh yeah,
right?
the tokens.
Yeah, and so it was just double-sided, and it's such a simple thing to do, but can you imagine having to have 4 more decks of all of that stuff? Well,
in Magic you do. There's every token you could possibly think of. You have to have your own separate tokens for all of them.
Well, you don't have to do that because it's just double-sided. So take this, you flip it over. Take this, you flip it over to that side. And I know it's a little, like, a simple thing, but I just really appreciate when games try to concise in a way that makes sense, and it just makes the packaging easier.
So you guys, overall, I mean, you can't unthrone Magic the Gathering as far as the fantasy card game with so much depth and complexity. It's been going for 25 plus years. You can't supplant that. But at the same time, it's such a big barrier to entry, and you have to kind of keep up with all the new packs and all the new things in order to play competitively. And it's a big hassle. I like playing, but I play at a very low level with people who also play non-competitively, so we don't just have fun. This allows me to have that same exact feeling without having to worry about the complexity. Someone buying some crazy, thousands of dollars worth of cards in their deck and be able to just run all over me, have to worry about that. You can only have that one coin. You can only do one big action every turn. It's not like you just go crazy, so you have one big action and maybe a couple smaller ones. And you can do things on other people's turns, same thing. You only get one of them though, one big reaction. I thought that was a great simple way of being able to make sure that everything was balanced and fair, no matter what cards were in your deck, no matter what factions you were using. If you are looking for a Magic game without that rarity, without that kind of complexity, or
to get in at the ground level.
Yeah. Epic was so much fun, you guys.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can follow us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.